So as a small business owner myself, I feel extremely overwhelmed with the thought of AI and what it can do for my business, and kind of the idea that it might actually take over my business and replace me in my business. But look, I'm trying to stay positive. So I'm hoping that this episode today can calm some of my concerns. I'm with Adrian Smith from RunGopher. You've heard of him on the podcast before with Glenn a few times, and you'll be hearing from him a little bit more as well from the podcast moving forward. We're going to do an audit of my business. Bit of context, I run Allies Management, a full-service marketing agency in Brisbane. So there's plenty of opportunity for AI to come and help me in my business. And I think this is going to be applicable for any business, to be honest, but mostly service-based businesses. So we're going to do a top-down audit and work out where in my business I can be streamlining and automating with AI. Let's get into it. Adrian, shall we get started?
Hello, friend.
How are you?
So good.
So where can we start with my business? What do you need to know to get this audit going?
So I think it's probably helpful for the audience to know that we just met.
Yes.
I know nothing about your business other than we had a brief conversation. So I've done a quick Google, obviously. Great website. What do I need to know? Yeah, why don't you give me a snapshot of your business? Because although you're marketing, branding and whatever, that can be broad. So why don't you give me the elevator pitch?
Cool. So our niche is service-based businesses. And I guess our core service pillars, look, we're a full service agency, but the main services we offer are social media management, paid ads, so that's across Meta, Google and TikTok, email marketing and copywriting.
Okay.
But look, I'll be honest, we build websites, we do photography and videography, we do graphic design, we do the whole lot. So for the sake of simplicity, let's focus on those core service pillars. Our clients are in construction, real estate, childcare, hospitality, the marine industry. So quite a wide range of industries, but all service businesses.
Okay. How many employees?
4 employees and myself and my business partner. So a team of 6 in total.
Cool. And how do you get clients?
This question. It's a bit of a mix of referrals, social media.
Yeah.
We're not running any ads at the moment, but I'm working on getting some up on Meta in particular.
Okay, cool. So with every business, I do a then what happens audit.
Yep.
And especially because in AI world, you got to think about where does your time go? And so when you think about a referral comes in, what happens? And I'll ask you this question in a second. And so you do an audit of the stages that the amount of touch points it takes for you to actually get that client as a client or just to be able to make a decision that they are the right fit or not the right fit.
Okay.
So it's a then what happens audit. So let's play a game. Someone lands on your website and they click book a call. Top left.
They get sent to my calendar, essentially, where they can book in a marketing needs assessment. That's like a discovery call, I guess. They'll book that in. That's the first touch point that they have with me. Yeah. So that'll land in my inbox. We will go through that call. We'll work out what...
Pause. What happens before that call? Any emails, any SMS?
So they used to.
Yeah.
But we had some struggles with the automations.
Yeah.
Where at the moment we're in a bit of an in-between where we were working out... We used to use Calendly. Now we use cal.com.
Yeah.
We use... What do we use for our email marketing? Flowdesk.
Oh, yeah.
So I used to have all these automations on where they would get a confirmation email and a reminder and whatnot, but we had some teething issues with the automations, so I've turned those off.
Yeah.
So they just get the cal.com reminders that are already built in.
Yep. So they turn up to the call?
Yep.
What do you know about them when they turn up to the call?
So let me pull it up. There's a couple of questions I ask when they book in for the call.
Yeah. And the reason I asked, and these are detailed questions and probably helpful for anyone that's kind of thinking about where to get AI in their business is really understanding what are the nitty-gritty steps, and especially around communication, because that's where you sink a lot of time. Things like, what do you know before the call? And once you pull it up, we'll dive into that.
Yep. So I get their business name and offering, their marketing goals. They select, there's a couple of options there of a marketing budget they feel comfortable with. If they're after just a one-off service, they might just be after one shoot or a campaign. They can provide their details and any additional notes to help me prepare for the meeting.
So my first bit of feedback is people don't know what they don't know. And so often in forms, like business name, explaining business offering, what are your marketing goals? This is where AI is helpful, but this is just simple business, is being prescriptive or kind of what we call an assumptive sell. And so people are coming to you because they probably don't know what they don't know.
Yep.
And so when you say, what are your marketing goals? Someone might say, I have no idea. And so I would be prescriptive and push people into some lanes, which helps people actually understand, okay, this is the result I'm going to achieve from this. And so you know by who you work with, what are the basic outcomes that are needed or that you work toward with every client.
Yeah.
And so what I would give them, I'd give them options.
Okay.
And it makes them actually think more about it and give you more information.
Yeah.
And so I'd be like, you are a business that is in the marine industry that needs X, Y, and Z. Or you're a childcare and you're at 40% capacity and you want marketing goals to achieve 80% capacity.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And so that way you can get very quickly, you can assumptive sell them into something.
Yeah.
And so that when you get on the call with them, you can say, hey, looks like you're in the childcare industry, you're at like 40 to 50% capacity. Obviously, we know that's draining funds. So we need to get you to 80%. And then you can diagnose the problem and provide a solution, which is we're going to run ads, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. This is where you'll get your biggest opportunity for upsell. Because people don't know the gaps in their business and they actually don't know how to get to the next stage.
Yeah. So are you saying in this initial call form to customize it, like select your industry and from, say, they select childcare, then a number of other questions might pop up that then they can provide some more details?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
There's a form app called Forms, I think. Forms.
Ingenious name.
It's Forms. Oh, I'll have to find it. But basically what it does is it tracks what domain they're coming from and can actually help pre-fill a lot of this. And so you get additional information when they submit the form.
Okay.
And
so instead of booking in a call through cal.com, because I'm wondering how, I don't think, and look, maybe cal.com reach out because I might not be using your platform to the best of its ability, but would that be a separate form that they fill out that then integrates with my calendar?
Yeah.
In a different way? Is that
Calendly does it, and I don't know cal.com, and so if you're listening, I apologize. You probably do this. But you can add conditional formatting to forms. And so on Calendly, you would present a form. And if you've got a CRM like High Level or Monday.com, like they have forms available.
Yeah.
And you can add conditions. So if they select this, then route here. So Calendly calls them routing. And so if they select childcare, then different responses pop up than marine industry. And so you do the work once to help them kind of guide them through this, and you can make some assumptions based on what you know, and you can then challenge them based on that too. So it's really personalized. And I always say that automation shouldn't come at the cost of personalization. And so nowadays we don't need static forms. And so we've evolved into how do we make this as personalized as possible so that because you got to think, if they land on your website and they click book a call and they click book a call on competitor website and both present a form similar to what you've got, which is not wrong, and it works, who knows their customer better in this first interaction? And so based off what you know about the clients that you work with, you can be really specific with them.
Yeah.
Like, I know your pain point.
Yeah.
And so from the very first form response, they go, oh, wow, like these guys know us.
Yeah.
Versus insert generic answers. And so that's what I think about is how do you differentiate yourself at every point of communication along the path.
Okay. I like that. I can set that up. I'm sure cal.com will allow me to do
Oh, yeah.
that.
I'm sure they have, yeah. They just announced, actually, I saw a bunch of editions, so I'm sure they've got it.
Yeah.
Cal.com's very good. Okay, so they submit the form. So we've just decided that could be more personalised.
Yep.
And so that when you get to the meeting, you've got some really key points of like, these are the pain points in your business. These are the things we need to look at.
Yep.
And you can go into the saying, okay, we're all on the same page. We can make some assumptions based on what we know. And then what happens? How do you run your meeting?
So to be honest, the meeting is going through a lot of those questions. And my, I guess, rebuttal of adding all these forms, all these fields to the form was that often I have clients potential clients who will book in a call. Childcare, for example, they don't even know their occupancy. They're not kind of prepared. So I need to toe the line between not adding too much into the form that they don't even end up filling it out either, because then they may go to a competitor who has a more simple form because it's easier for them to book in the call.
Yep.
I don't want to create too many barriers to entry. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So simple's good, and that's why prescriptive is good.
Yeah.
Because it makes them go, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it could streamline that process.
Yeah.
Instead of, what are your marketing goals?
Yeah.
Very broad, I want more business, like I want to make more money.
Yeah.
And so you could have those as simple answers like easy path is I'm not making enough money, not getting enough leads, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or more complex path is, be more prescriptive.
Yeah, perfect.
So when you get on the call, you say, okay, cool, this is what you do. You give a bit of a snapshot.
Mm-hmm.
And then
we will generally tease out a lot of those. Say it's a childcare centre, what's your occupancy? What are your, I guess, frequently asked questions in tours? Like a lot of those things that would probably go into the form. And then from there, based on what they need, because sometimes, to be honest, a lot of people will book in thinking they want social media because it's just the easiest thing. They think marketing, social media, but they actually have the capacity to run social media in-house and they need a more specialized service like ads or Google ads or Meta ads. So then we have that conversation.
Yeah.
Then we will book in a follow-up call later in that week. And before that follow-up call, I'll send a proposal over. They have time to review it. We jump on the follow-up call. They can either say, go away, I don't want to work with you, or go through any questions, or yes, let's do it.
Cool. Your proposals, how different are they every one that you send?
I do customize them. So we use Quilla for our proposals.
Very good.
Yeah, love Quilla. It's the best. So the template is generally the same, but I'll always add custom recommendations to skew it to the client based on the notes that I've made from the call. Yeah.
Do you package your services?
Yeah.
So you've got like package A is X amount per month, B is X amount.
Yep.
Do they change?
Rarely.
Yep.
Unless the scope of what the client needs is very unique, but generally it's packaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is opportunity here.
Okay.
My background's sales and sales process, and I try and avoid proposals at all costs.
Okay. Why is that?
Sometimes you need them because there's, contracts that have special clauses and there's non-competes and there's lots of different things happening. Where something is pretty standard, like you pay for a service, we deliver outcome, you can package them and you can sell on the call. Mm-hmm. And this is a big step.
Yeah.
proposal gives you breathing room and it feels like it takes the heat out of it because you're like, go and think about it. We're here. It's fine. And you kind of enter this friend zone where you're like, we're not pushy, just have a think. And when you sell on the call, you have the ability to say, hey, cool, it sounds like you've got a real problem in your business. Now, there's a couple of paths. I can send you a proposal and you can have a look through it and you're probably going to come back and have some questions, or we can get started today. Now, what that looks like is our team gets started, they start doing some research. By the time you've read the proposal and agreed to it, we could have actually done a week's work for you.
Yeah.
And so you pose time against outcome, and someone go, no, I need to think about it. Okay, what's to think about? And they go, oh, I'm chatting to another competing business. Okay, what is it that they offer that you haven't seen in what we can do?
Yeah.
And so you start to ask this is real salesy. You start to ask these questions around what is their appetite for change? And so I like to do it without proposals.
Yeah.
But I'm a sales background, so I'm very different. And so I understand that marketing creatives hate that because it feels salesy.
Yeah.
When it's really just saying, hey, we can help you. And these are the things that we can see in your business based on what we've done with others. This is what I can see.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I have sold on the call a couple of times. I think.
Here we go.
Yeah. Look, I'm putting my big girl pants on and I'm becoming a saleswoman. But more often than not, I get the vibe that their business partner conveniently hasn't come to the call, so they need to speak to their business partner, or they need to get things approved or whatever. So when I feel like I can make the sale on the call, I will, and I have a couple of times, but 80% of the time I'm speaking to one person who needs to run it by another person or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
That's fine.
But good point. It is something that I do want to do more, selling on the call.
Yeah. And if it is selling a proposal, then you got to sell the next step.
Yeah.
So
before you go into that though, before you go into the next step, let's take a quick break and then we'll get back into it.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. But if you want guidance tailored to your situation, head to moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help. We'll connect you with one of our trusted professionals, financial advisors and mortgage brokers, who work with people right across Australia. No matter where you are, they can help. Now, before we get back to the show, a quick reminder to protect your financial life. That means having income protection sorted. It means having death cover if there's any debt or dependents relying on you. It means getting your personal insurance in order. Most people insure their car, they insure their house, but what about themselves? Sky Wealth, who support this podcast, are specialist financial advisors who can help you get the right cover in place. Their advice is often more comprehensive and better value than going direct through your super. Book a complimentary 15-minute chat at sky.com.au. That's skye.com.au, and they'll point you in the right direction.
Okay, so I'm in my sales call. I need to sell the next step.
Yep.
What is that?
The next step is you need to, by the end of that call, you need to book in a time to review the contract or the proposal.
Agree.
And I think it should be, this is just my thoughts.
Yeah.
It should be within 24 hours.
Okay.
So I bring that timeline right up. Like, hey, I'm going to send you the proposal. Why don't we meet tomorrow, same time, 3 o'clock? That works for you? Cool. So tomorrow at 3, I'm going to put 5 minutes in the calendar. And I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Just a quick check-in call. Doesn't have to be video. I'll just give you a buzz. And it forces them to do the proposal because what you want is commitment from them.
Yeah.
And so right after that, okay, cool. So we'll meet again at 3 tomorrow. Cool. Proposal goes out. But you need to make sure that proposal is out within like 10 minutes of that call.
Yeah.
That's where Quilla's great.
Yeah.
Templated, hey, here's a few little bespoke things.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
And then done. And I would communicate with them some way. Another way too is just SMS them. So send the Quilla, hey, thanks so much for your time just now. I've just sent you the proposal. Can't wait to chat tomorrow at 3.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is the whole way along this is you are getting them to commit to the next step.
Yeah.
And they need to say yes to it on that call.
And to, I guess, bring the conversation, like steer it back into AI
Oh, yes. Sorry.
and automations. Yeah, we completely got off topic, but I'm still learning. I'm taking so many notes. With the SMS, that is probably something I can automate as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have a CRM?
Yes and no. We use Asana as our project management system, and we have a project that acts as our CRM within Asana, but it's not a traditional CRM.
I haven't used Asana for a long time, but I imagine there is like little integrations you can do so that you can trigger an SMS. They probably integrate with Twilio or something.
Yeah.
Trigger an SMS or trigger something.
Yeah, cool.
And so, and these are not necessarily AI things. This is just
automation, but still helps.
Yeah. What I would do, like if we want to dive into AI, when they submit the form, what I would do is integrate that with like a chatgpt and say, when this form is submitted, go out and search everything you know about this business, and come back to me with 10 points of what are their challenges, how long have they been in business, and it'll just give you a snapshot, an in-depth snapshot of it.
Yeah.
And so you see that, they went bankrupt 3 years ago.
Red flag.
Yeah, something like that. Or, new owners have just come in and so, okay, that reframes it. So we've just bought the business 6 months ago. And so anything that can help you on that first initial call with information, it's so easy to do now. And that could just be manual now. You could just punch that form in, say, hey, this is the domain. These are the people that have actually submitted the form. Tell me what you know.
Yeah.
And that'll just give you a breakdown.
Cool.
Because you want to know everything you possibly can, be armed with that on the first call. Just so you can say, I know your backstory. Hey, it looks like you've won these awards. That's awesome. Anything that sets you out from your competitor, sets you apart from your competitor, that's a win.
And do you think, I'm just thinking like on the fly, crafting a prompt that says, hey, ChatGPT, research this client, tell me like their recent wins, any red flags I should be aware of in case they don't want to pay their invoices or anything, to give, almost like to audit the potential customer from my end to make sure it's someone that I want to work with as well.
That's super important because most people will go into these calls going, I need to sell.
Yeah.
These calls are not a sell call unless they're the right client.
Yeah.
These calls are, do I want to work with this person? Because saying no to clients is sometimes way more beneficial than saying yes to them because of these reasons. So you can create a custom GPT and just use the same prompt every time.
Yeah.
Punch in the form data, or the domain or the business name, whatever you have, and just say, find out what you know. Are there any red flags, anything I should reconsider? Even to the point where I'm sure, it can search like ads library too.
Yeah.
So like have they run ads in the past? Anything like that to give you just a one-pager on this particular client.
I think that will be the thing that provides that, and the personalizing the forms will be the biggest value for me because I do spend quite a bit of time doing research ahead of these calls, and I've got it down to a pretty good routine to keep it quite efficient, but it still takes time.
Yeah.
So being able to automate that would be super handy.
Yeah. So build the prompt once. It'll take you 10 minutes to refine it, and then it's copy and paste.
Cool. So they have obviously agreed to the proposal that I've sent, or I've sold on the call. They've signed up. The next step, I guess, is onboarding.
Yeah.
What can you recommend with AI to help onboarding?
Yeah. So again, with the lens of what do we do that is just makes us stand out from the rest is you would need to go through the then what happens audit in your business. So once they sign, just on a whiteboard piece of paper, write all the next steps that need to happen.
Yeah.
If you're running ads and you need to get access to their ads account, you need to look at assets, you need to start looking at shoots. This is where Asana is super helpful, obviously. But from an AI point of view, I would be thinking about where is the time that you just sink the most? And then how can you look at an app. So let's use an example. Okay, in my business, we build voice AI agents. So this, just to expand everyone's mind a little bit with AI. So they click yes and sign the digital contract. Now what you could do is a trigger goes out to a voice agent and they get a call. Hey, this is Kayla's AI assistant. Congratulations on signing the form. I'm just going to ask you 10 questions and then we're going to get started. And so they are now having a conversation with a voice agent that asks them a few questions. Cool. Or it tells them what they need to expect over the next couple of days. Hey, just let you know, you're going to receive a couple of emails. They're going to be this, and this. And then, so they've had a conversation. All of that data is then transcribed and pushed in to Asana, and so you get a dump of the transcript, and then you can do actions off the back of that. So we use monday.com, and so transcript goes in, and then based on what they've summarized, whether they've liked it or not, a column changes, and then an email goes off. And so it might be ads email account. And then another, after that, once they've submitted it, another column changes, and suddenly you get, okay, let's get all the assets. And so it's not necessarily AI, again, just good automation.
Yeah. This has become an automation chat, I think. That's the biggest thing I need to do in my business is automate more.
Yes. And so, yeah. So that's that. But what I should have said is before you get on the call to these people, let's go back a few steps.
The discovery call.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Replit or Replete?
No.
Replit.
Okay. What's that?
So it's like a no-code prompt builder for websites, apps, anything. So when let's say you want to differentiate yourself from your competitor, you could punch in their website and say, hey, we're about to speak to this client. We're going to offer some solutions. And you could say, build me 3 alternate websites ahead of time, and it will take about 3 minutes.
Okay.
It will pull in all of their data. It will look at it. It'll do everything. And so you could say, hey, really excited to get on the call. Here's some ideas. I've been looking at your website. Here's some ideas that we've been thinking about as a team. Not the end result, but just a teaser.
Yeah.
Anything that makes you stand out. And it literally took a minute, not even. And you could automate that whole process too. It's a great way for lead gen as well. Hey, just looked at your website. Think there's some gaps in it. Here's some other mock-ups that I've done. Let me know if you're interested. Becomes a lead gen tool.
Cool.
You could run ads. They click on a link, punch in their domain. You could set up a trigger to like a Replete or something like that. And within 5 minutes, they've been sent like alternate versions. And it looks like it's come from your team. But it's just to say, hey, we do things differently. We're more efficient. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So this is where like AI like levels up a lot.
So I guess the objective with all of this is to make your business stand out and to differentiate yourself from competitors. And from this discussion already, I'm picking up that in my industry, everyone that I've seen does things the same.
Exactly the same.
Even in like most service industries, most creative industries, I'll even go that far. It's book a discovery call, get a proposal, and there is such opportunity to expand on that and differentiate.
Yes. We've done our website a number of times. I've worked with a lot of creatives. They follow the same format. They'll run an ad to a landing page. Landing page, book a call, there'll be some kind of discovery, then there'll be a workshop where we need to deep dive into your brand and blah, blah, blah. You got to think about what's different about you.
Yeah.
And everyone wants results now. So 3 workshops an hour long and you pay for it. Like, my question is like, do you actually really need that? And AI can streamline that whole process a whole lot quicker.
Yeah.
Like with Replete, you could do a lot more design, research with even chatgpt. There's heaps of them out there. Because you're up against another marketing agency that's may not be better in their design or in their execution, but they just market better. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And so at every stage you go, okay, if a competitor lands, are we better? Cool. Now we've got our forms down pat. That feels really good. In how we present our proposal, are we better? Okay, that feels pretty good. And this is forever evolving. In how we onboard, are we better? Do we get enough information? Do we make it as seamless and stress-free as possible?
Yeah.
So that's my matrix in all that we do at my business is if someone lands on a competitor, what makes us different?
Yeah. And I think that's a really good way to look at automation and AI because it, from my perspective anyway, it can feel like the limit doesn't exist of what you can automate, and AI feels like such a big kind of scary world. And if you just have an objective of stand out, be different, then yeah, I think that's like a really simplified way to look at this like big, seemingly scary world of AI.
Yes.
So to wrap up,
yes,
what I'm going to do from now forward, I'm going to personalize my forms on my discovery calls. I'm going to automate client research ahead of these discovery calls thanks to ChatGPT. I can then automate SMS follow-ups. And then I really like your idea of having that AI agent to help onboard or provide a welcome call or something like that. So then the client feels loved and they feel like they're getting attention, which I think is really important. So that'll help with the customer service because I think that's such a big thing in my business is as we grow, the time that I'm spending with clients face-to-face
high touch.
Continues to grow. So any final thoughts?
No. I think you like in any business, and this never ends, is just to stop, go, okay, what does this process look like? Just this simple one.
Yeah.
Can I make it better? And then just spend an hour a week and go, okay, we've made it marginally better. Yeah. Cool. Next week, we've made it marginally better.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be overwhelming. AI doesn't have to be overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's just small steps to go, okay, we now look after our people better. And that's a win.
So if someone has listened to this episode and they're like, I want to do all of this, but I don't know where to start, can they get in touch with you? Can you help them?
Yes. Find me on LinkedIn, Adrian Smith, or I run a company called RunGopher. You can find me there too. But just use ChatGPT, research. Hey, I'm new. I don't know what I'm doing. I run this business. What should I do?
Yeah.
And just let it talk to you.
Yeah, cool. Love it. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of This is Business. If you have found it as helpful as I have, send it to another business owner or someone you know that needs help with their small business and integrating AI. See ya.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the Product Disclosure Statement, PDS, and Target Market Determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glenn James are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds financial services license 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective license holders.